Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. It is February 3rd, 2026. Actually, it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit outside, which is 32 is 0 Celsius. So it's 3 degrees Fahrenheit below 0 Celsius, which would make it, I don't know, like 1.5 degrees, 1.25 degrees, something like that, below 0 Celsius, which actually, when I went out there, felt warm because we've gotten used to the colder weather here. Let's see. We're working on space and time, and this will be video number 385. So we've worked on this 385 times. Anywhere from probably the absolute shortest video is probably like 4 or 5 minutes to the actual longest video is probably like 2.5 hours. So basically what we could do is we can go like this. We can go boom, we can add a video, then we can change views, and then we can go into update, and then we can change views again, change views, we can delete, we can re-add, and we hit update. And I don't know if you saw the first time, but we were at update 1, now we're at update 2. That's because we're not deleting everything. So if you were to go like here, let's go from scratch. So we're in this custom view, hit F12, make this right here, boom. And then when we go and add one, we added like this logging so that we could see what was going on. And we have a pretty cool little view here of all the different pieces that describe this visualization right here. And so then when I come here, and let's say I clear this guy, and I hit delete, see we still have 7, even though nothing exists, we still have 7 objects. So so we've been going down a rabbit hole to delete these objects, and sort of this was created like with a traditional CRUD. So it was create, read, update, well, it was delete and update. And as we were working through update, I ran across this issue where I was like, oh man, I'm not recycling my IDs, and then I realized, oh, I was leaving all these memory leaks, because that's what these are, right? These are objects that still exist in JavaScript, but they aren't being displayed. They are of no use anywhere. They're just sitting there consuming memory right now. So we definitely want to delete those. And as we've been going through, we've sort of been going back through the tree, and the very, very first sort of thing that I ever created was, in fact, um, beyond the whole thing was this animation piece. And so we're all the way back to creating the animation piece. And the way I created that was I just sort of slid. I thought, oh, animation's like kind of this unique thing. And so it was sitting at the top above, like as a sibling to ST and 3 and everything else. But it really didn't, it really needs to be more of a, this is so fascinating. Okay, entities, STUI. See, I still have a bit of a mess here. All right, so inside, so I had kind of divided everything out as to entities and S. What is in here? I wonder. Oh, there's nothing. Okay, so this is probably just a leftover from a botched create. I was probably trying to create a service and all right, so now, yeah, so we have our entities, and then I didn't really consider animations entities, and then I said, "Oh wait, they are." So then I was like, "Well, but they're above ST3," and then it just became obvious that no, and 3 needs its own set of animation code, and ST needs its own set of animation code. But then we also needed like some kind of code inside of animation. I had a bunch of stuff that was around this component here, laying out the component on the screen and stuff like that. So it was like, oh man, see, so this is like taking the whole component and moving it over um, to the left. So then that's how, like, when we're in this view, that's how it knows to put this component over here. So that really, now that I think about it, isn't even really part of animations. It's just something I want to be able to control from animations. So anyway, so because of all that, we ended up with all these sort of things that deeply coupled together that shouldn't be coupled together. I mean, it was like clever to to reuse things, but at the same time, it made the code in general more difficult to reason about. So now we're slowly but surely trying to uh, tease all the different pieces of this apart. And this used to be like well over 100 lines of code, and now and like probably 10 or 15 different methods. Now we're down to three methods in here. Um, and if I remember, because I was thinking about this last night, I was literally thinking about this last night. Um, this only all it does is find the component, and so that it can be passed to this function. So whatever calls the set position may be the, yeah, okay, so here's where we call the set position and we bind it to this. So visualization layout, and we go through and we call this um, set position. So it would be better if we could call the other thing directly. Um, this is wild. Okay, so I always get a little confused with these bindings, but I say a set position by, oh, is it because I'm for, no? Get visualizations. Oh, okay, for each. And then um, I'm calling that, and then I guess as a standard, the for each, when it creates a function, it automatically creates a argument. And that's what this is. So I would rather not call this function. I'd rather call a function over in the class. So how I have that, I'd rather this function live over in the class and accept. So let's just do that. So I was thinking, oh, over here, I'm just going to add this other line of code, but I didn't realize that it was getting called like this. So let's go ahead and create a set position function over in our new visualization class or component layout class. Control copy. So that's this guy over here. So we're creating a new function over here. And the thing that I am kind of very, very sensitive to at the moment is this doesn't have a for root or anything like that. So this is a class that is not, doesn't share any kind of state with anything else. It just literally, if you want access to its methods, you uh, you just churn one out, and that's all it is it's just a reference. It's not, it doesn't have, it's just a reference to behavior. It doesn't have any data that it holds. And I think that if you can do that, that's good. It lowers, or that reduces your chances of creating a weird bug. All right, so now this viz component is, oh wait, this is viz component. So, okay, so this is this. Okay, so that's kind of a bummer. All right, so this needs the viz component service. So I guess we've been sort of just doing like this, like just adding that as a argument. And I've been kind of like, I don't know what any, like for me, I haven't seen any negative, like it's all been just a honeymoon for me. And this sort of mechanism of just passing in um, the class or this, the singleton, the service um, is component service. And then I believe I usually name it viz component viz. Oh my gosh. Typing. All right, so this is our Viz component service, and it gets passed in, and it gets a capital V when that's just how it gets named. And it's got this little blue guy, so that's a good sign. And it'll tell us it's bringing it from Angular Viz component service. So that only tells it like how, what to expect. And this Viz component service. And so now, when I call this, I need to pass in the Viz component service. I don't know how that works. I think I'm gonna have to change this code. Okay, bind this, comma. Okay, so I want to change this to this Viz component class. And I think, I don't know, I don't feel like super confident, but I believe this Viz component class. Let's see, dot, set position. Dot bind this. That's weird. What am I doing wrong? And then, I don't know. Okay, so I want to change the way I do this, and I'm going to change this into an arrow function. You get this back to where it works. Okay, so I did this because for unit testing purposes, but we could also do this. Did I get an extra? Yeah, for each, and then basically for each, it's going to be an ST visualization, comma, ST visualization. Oops. So basically, this service here returns a list of visualizations, and then I'm saying for each one of those, or an array of visualizations, so for each one of them, do this, and then I'm going to say this dot set position and ST visualization. And I believe that'll just work, right? So basically, we just converted it to an arrow function from from an inline bound function. That's thing's job was, so it didn't really prove anything that it was rotating. It needed to go over here. All right, so now we want to, instead of calling that like this, because basically what happens is we're trying to kind of figure out how to use the class, but then this entire function is going to end up over in that class. So like figuring out how to bind it so that I can call it directly isn't particularly useful. So then we want to go here. We'll probably end up going this full route, like all the way back to this again, to having it like bound and all that over on that side. We'll go full circle. So then it wants this dot visualization service. Which one is it? I can't remember actually. um, this component service. Let's just do that. Is component service. It's 8:41, so I still got a little bit of time. So like we have a different mission at this point. Like so don't normally I'm trying to think ahead to like, oh, unit test, how am I gonna get this thing unit tested? Um, but now it's like no, now I'm thinking about okay, how do I refactor this? So I don't need this code anymore. Let's just double check that I don't need that code anymore. Well, transpiled, so that's good. And then, yep, that all seems to be working. So we have removed another function. So we have two. We have update visualization layout, which takes on a viz count and then calls this viz layout and tells it that to ignore the hash. So I don't know if anybody uses that one, so I'm going to change the name of this one to supdate. Supdate. All right, so then what happens if okay, so let's go ahead and fix it and then change this. It's kind of, I bet you this gets called from a couple different places, but I'm not sure. S visual. But if it's just this one, that'll be cool. So if I change this to S, literally all I'm trying to figure out is if this is the only place I'm using it. There's a lot of different ways we could do that, but it's always fun to use so it doesn't look like that was the only place to me. It acts like it's broken in here somewhere. Hmm. Okay, so, oh, an app component, we call it. Okay. Okay, so let's just make sure that's the only other place I'm using it. Animation service visualizations layout S visualizations. Save. Okay, so that is those two places. So that'll be really nice actually if we can quit using it out of here. Okay, so this is interesting to me. All right. So we have this function that gets used from two different places. One from in here and one from the app. Um, so let's go ahead and copy this whole thing. This visualization service, and then this is just this. Oh, but it also needs the component service to get the job done. Now, I would imagine, okay, so let's go ahead and just move this over. Let's see if we can get away with the unlimited ammo, just pass in the um, this. It's just like this is a solution passing in these services directly as a component, like that I haven't as an argument that I haven't seen any issue with, which shocks me, because generally most like you get something and but it works great, but then there's some situation where that just kind of comes with um can you do this? That just comes with experience. Okay. service. I don't know if that has to be. Yeah, I think that only the first one, like only the last one, could be default value, or like the last two or whatever. But I don't think you can start with the default and then not have defaults after that. So visualization service, which is of type visualization. Service. And it knows what that is, so that's good. Okay, so it's going to get the visualization passed into it. So then we just get rid of this. I think it also needs a component service, and I don't know if I have the component service available. I'm sure I must. Oh wait, is visualization service isn't. No, animation service is where we were at. I was like, am I using the same thing? Okay, and then it needs the component service as well. Which I do something very similar to this one, so. Viz component. Okay, so this is the viz component layout class. So we can just say this. This viz component service. Visualization service. This is where things start getting a bit like beyond my ability to sort of visualize abstractions, because visualization service. And see, now at this point with this one, we could go back to the bind to this mentality, I think, and all that, or just come up with a whole different way of doing this. All right, so we've moved everything over. Let's see if we can. Okay, so this needs to call this with, and it's this dot. Man, that is really affecting my brain. Visualizations layout. And the first two things are the services, the visualization service and the viz component service. So the first two arguments. Dot. Viz component layout class. Comma. Did I? No. First thing it wants is, man, my brain, man. So my brain was working so good yesterday. I had a good brain yesterday. All right. For some reason, I could just remember these things yesterday. This dot visualization service, and then this dot visualization component service. Viz component service. All right. Now I don't even know when this thing gets calculated. So um, add count, add count. All right. So I don't know. Okay. So let's just go ahead and comment this line out. So I don't know if we're actually testing this thing or not. If this thing ever, I know it's transpiling. Okay, so this did not, maybe it's here. Add. I don't know when. Maybe it's when you change. Yeah, okay. So that didn't work because when it came back to redraw everything, those things already existed. Okay, add, change back. Okay, yep. Okay, so that's working. So we did test that. I'm pretty sure we tested it anyways. Okay, but we still need this for our other call, which is in the app component. Now, does he have the component service? It doesn't look like he has that component service, which is weird. Animation, visualization, layout. Oh, wait, visualizations, layout. Oh, this doesn't accept anything. And that is, okay, so that's definitely not that one. Okay, this has one default variable, so okay, so what if, so I think what I want to do is call this one, right? That is so wild. Okay, so basically this has the component service. But I think that component service is for, it's not a singleton, I don't think. Is it? Maybe it is. Component. Oh, it is. Is component service is an absolute singleton. Oh, okay. So, and then there's the visualization service. Now, okay, so now I'm really starting to stretch my brain because, okay, so our component, so our app is a component. It does not have the visualization service or the component service. It doesn't have either. Right, so it doesn't do. I'm just gonna try this. Oh my goodness. I've got this is good. This is really good for me because I'm going to get to kind of think through this, what we're doing here, because this is weird for me. Okay, so we have our visualization, our viz component service. That's these two right here. We inject them. So let's just see if injecting those into the app causes any problems. But if we can inject these into the app without any problems, which I'm like walking on eggshells here, I just don't know. Let me go like this, back, back. Viz component, layout class. Gosh darn it. Oh, okay. Is this Oh, this guy right there is. This is what I'm trying to. I think it's this line right here, and then this layout loop. I don't even know what that code is doing. All right, so what I want to do is see if I can inject those two services without any problems. So animation service is the one we're trying to get rid of. It wouldn't surprise me if this completely breaks, but it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't. Like I'm literally like, I just don't, I'm just trying something I've never tried before, or at least not knowingly tried before. Okay, so everything seems to be happy. So in theory, then we can pull in our other class, is layout class, and then I can use that instead. And then if that is the case, then I can get rid of, I can totally get rid of the animation service. All right, so now I think I can just use this is component layout class and pass it the services that I want, or the this dot visualization service and this dot biz component service. And then we can come in here. I think we can comment all of this out now. Okay, who is not? Who can't? Ah, okay, so we are missing one. That's a bummer. All right. So we got one more in the app layout component, something to update. That's probably a call to this guy, would be my guess. And that is, I bet you anything, that's this guy right here. Um, so I don't think I need this one anymore. Yep, okay. So yeah, all we have to do is now call, just like we're called that other one, call this from the app is component. I'm actually really glad this is a good stopping point for me because I really want to think through what just happened in that app component with the injecting the stuff and all that. Oh, one last thing. Let's see. So I shouldn't need that animation. We're compiling, right? Okay. Um, layout component. Visualization, animation service. Yeah, I don't think I need this over here anymore. Yeah, so we don't need animation service at all anymore on this one, so that's awesome. Um, and yeah, we're calling this class instead, which is not a singleton, so that lowers the chances of the redundancy cyclic thing. Anyways, oh, it's 9:01. I gotta go. Bye. Have a good day.